Hi, and welcome to World of Cars channel. Thank you again to all my subscribers, to all the viewers who watched my videos. Again, this video is up for you guys to inspire you to work on your cars, do it yourself. Stop paying a big money to the shops when you can do a job yourself. It's easy, it's fun, and nobody will do as well as you do. Today, I'll be showing you how to change the valve cover gasket. As you watch one of my previous videos, guys, where I changed the cooling system, I got all that stuff been taken out. So I decided it's a good time for me to clean the engine. There was a lot of grease, there was a lot of greasy spots. And the very first time when I crank up the engine, after cleaning up and putting everything back together, what I noticed, there is a little oil leak, and there is probably oil leaks in the back as well. I don't see any visual oil leaks here, but obviously there is an oil leak in the valve cover. So that's the reason, and to stop all that leak here before we gonna drive any further and make mess again here. This is obviously a pretty easy job. There are few bolts you have to take out. Mostly it's a 10mm bolts. There are 6 bolts that holds the valve cover here. There is one bolt here, 10mm. There is the only 12mm bolt here, I believe. There are 2 bolts here that holds the wiring. There are 2 bolts here that holds the spark plugs, boots and everything. Here 2 bolts, all 10mm. And there is one hose goes to the valve cover. You have to take out. Let's just go ahead and take all the outer bolts here, 10mm. Four bolts here that holds the spark plug boots, so take them out. So. There are 6 bolts here, so let's go ahead and take them out. And probably need to put the ratchet on the rest of them. Before we get to the back 3 bolts, let's go ahead and unplug all the electrical wiring here. You can take out the boot now easily. There you go. There you go. Just disconnect that. 10mm bolts here. I changed the spark plugs about a year ago or so. It was actually a little bit of a hard time for me to take the boots out, and the reason is I think I didn't put enough silicone grease around this area right here. But if boots giving you a hard time, take a piece of pliers like that, wrap it around the cloth or rag so you're not gonna buzz the rubber. Go around the rubber like that and pull it up. It should come straight up. The very important thing, we have to memorize how it goes. Okay, this is the boot number 1 with a longer wire. It goes to a boot number 4 across the boot number 2. The boot number 2 take the wire across and goes to a boot number 4. Boot number 2 connects to boot number 3 here, and the boot number 4 connects to boot number 1. So take them out in order, lay them down in order you're going to install them. Clean them before you install them. Put some dielectric grease. I'll be showing how to do all that a little bit later. I took 1 bolt out of here, so 2 remaining bolts, 10mm bolts here. There you go. There is 1 more here. There is 1 more 12mm bolt is here. Take 2 hoses out here and here. To lose these hoses up, just take hooks. You want to just go around and you want to turn that loose. Once that's loose, just take your flathead screwdriver and help it to prime it out. There you go. This one is out. The same thing here. You're gonna take the pick and you want to go all the way around it. Make sure that part is loose. Take the flathead screwdriver. Be careful not to damage anything. That thing is out. Once you take everything out, it's pretty hard to just pull it out the valve cover, right? So what you have to do, take the hammer, piece of rack, and tap it. Make sure you disconnect the oxygen sensor. You don't want to hit the oxygen sensor with a hammer. And just go around it. And guys, one more tap right here with that hammer, and I was able to break it loose. And now we are ready to see the beauty of the engine. This is your valve cover, and you see guys, it is in a pretty good shape. After 20 years, you don't see much burn here. It is in a very good shape, I would say. A little bit of stuff here, but I'm gonna clean this up. This is amazing. And the valve cover, what we're gonna be changing is this one. It's obviously needs to be changed. The valve cover gasket that I ordered comes with the spark plug seals. This is the spark plug seal, so I'm going to take them out, and that's going to be replaced as well. 4 of them. Too easy to take out. And the rubber, probably a good time to change because it's pretty hard rubber here. Make sure you're going to clean everything around here. This is the dirt. It's up to you to get to the spark plugs. You might as well to change the spark plugs if you want to. My suggestion, guys, if you taking out this and you're gonna be doing some work here around cleaning up, I recommend you to put the plastic cover on the top of the engine block here, so no debris, no dust will come into the engine block, especially into the combustion chambers, right? Once you took the spark plugs off, just make sure everything is covered. If you want to take the peak or something and prime it and take the gasket out. As I'm working on that, guys, I can see that it had to be changed a long time ago because the rubber is all hardened here and it's in a very bad condition. Let's take the screwdriver. Here comes this rubber. I can say it's in a very, very bad condition. Very bad condition. Took my time to clean up the valve cover, and you can see the results now, how it looked before and how it looks now. I really took my time. Maybe it's a little overkill. You don't have to do as clean as I did, but as I always say, I like to keep my stuff clean. The way you want to do that, you want to use the steel brush. You want to use the steel brushes like that for the drills. So you want to use the drill, these circular steel brushes, and this type. Brake and parts cleaner. You need to spray that. You need to let it sit for a bit just to loosen up all the buildup CO2, all the buildup oil. On the ridge where the gasket goes, you want to take the steel brush with that end and go over that. To finish up the job, you can use the scuff pads. I use a 370, I believe. Final touch, you want to go with a brake and parts cleaner. I use actually 2 cans of that, entire 2 cans, but this is my 3rd one. You'll spray it and let the valve cover to dry completely. You don't want to put the new gasket on while there is a cleaner here because that might destroy the gasket. Also, I forgot to mention, guys, that while I'm doing all this job, I decided to go ahead and change the PCV valve as well. Not an expensive thing, but it'll probably okay. You can shake, and if you hear a rattling noise, it means okay. The PCV valve will get all the excessive gases that build up underneath the valve cover back to the intake manifold. The way you swipe it off is if you just take a 15mm wrench and start unscrewing this, you might gonna rip that nipple off from the valve cover and you're gonna mess up the valve cover. So take the piece of pliers and start pushing in the opposite direction. So you want to grab it like that, right? And if you're working counterclockwise, you want to push that left hand clockwise so it goes against that. I'm going to apply the silicone paste, this one right here on that edges where the gasket goes. Then I'm going to cover the entire gasket with that silicone paste. I just took the cotton swabs here, used the silicone paste, and went all the way around that ridge right here. Doesn't take much, but you want to facilitate the gasket to go in. The thing that I want to show is this part right here that's gonna lay down on the engine block, and this part right here, these grooves, they specifically designed to go into the valve cover. Let's line up everything, make sure it actually fits before we start putting any grease, and it seems like it's gonna fit. Take a little bit of silicone and just start going all the way around the gasket. The problem with the gaskets that a lot of people tend to stretch them. Go easy, make sure it's lined up properly. You don't want to stretch that. You want to align first, start working your way around it. Also, you want to put some of the silicone on the spark plugs seals. We're ready to put everything back on. The only thing that I would like to mention, guys, is that maybe it's a good time for you to change the spark plugs. It's up to you. I've changed them about 6 months ago, so you can see they fairly new. Most of the job is done. You just need to undo them and put the new ones. That's it. They wide open, you took everything out, so it's up to you to do that or not. I took them out to clean them up, so let's go ahead and put them back in. This is the 14mm spark plugs. Go around from 18 to 25 feet-pounds. I'm gonna start with 18. I may increase to 20 or even 22. This is the spark plugs. They already have a pre-applied anti-seize here, so do not put any anti-seize. Anti-seize serves as a lubricant. Then you have to reduce your torque specs by 20 or 30%. You may actually damage the threads. The spark plugs boots going on top. So we want to put a dielectric grease. You see the 3 lines here. We want to take the swab and put the dielectric grease around it here. Don't put on the metal parts. Dielectric does not conduct electricity. I got to 18 feet-pounds. $18 will do. So this is the second one. That's 18. This is the third one. Yep. And the last one goes here. That's it. Go ahead and change the torque specs to 22 feet-pounds. Double check again everything. There you go. There you go. There you go. Let's go ahead and put the spark plugs seals. So put a little bit of silicone paste on top here. Take the swab and take the silicone paste and go at the edges from inside and outside. Next, we're gonna put the valve cover on the top. Make sure you're gonna clean this edge right here. And make sure it does not jam any wires. Go all the way around and make sure no wires have been pinched. Especially at that corner right there. Everything looks good. 6 bolts, put them in. Take the ratchet again, just snag it. We want to leave at this point. If it's going to be leaking out, we will come back and retighten that, but what we have now is good enough. Let's go ahead and put all the boots, everything back up together. The important part, guys, dielectric grease on boots. A lot of people have a misconception how to use the dielectric grease. You don't want to put on any metal contacts. You want to put where the rubber makes the connection. So it isolates. It's a good isolator. It does not conduct the electricity. Let's start with the boot number 1 here. You want to take the swab and you want to go inside there like that. You see just enough, guys, on the sides, and you're gonna go with all 4 of them like this. Here's another one. Then you want to look where the connections goes. You want to put the dielectric grease around it here, not inside, and you want to put outside here. The boot will be plugged in here. Start plugging in. That's 1, 2. Remember, guys, I was having a hard time to get the boots out. Now you want to put the silicone paste in that region right here, where it's gonna go to your valve cover, so we won't get stuck next time. Now, about these connections here, you don't want to put anything inside there because you already put enough grease outside, and I put plenty silicone paste around it in the metal part, inside here and outside. I'm gonna start with the boot number 4, dielectric grease inside, dielectric grease outside, silicone paste. Boot number 2, the electric connector goes this way, this one. The other one goes this way. No dielectric grease inside here because we put plenty outside. 2 bolts going here, 2 bolts going here. I already put the new PCV valve right here, 15mm wrench. Change the PCV valve hose. Now you're ready to plug everything back in. Number 1 goes to number 4. Number 2 goes to number 3. Put all your connections back in. Double check everything. Ready to put these bolts that hold in the wires. 2 bolts. Connect your hoses. Silicone paste put it around the PCV valve nipple here, put silicone paste here and a little bit inside of the hoses. Make sure you didn't jam any wires between the valve cover gasket and the engine block. Oxygen sensor connector, there you go, plug it in. 10 millimeter, 12 millimeter bolt goes here. The engine is started. We'll give it a minute to warm up and walk around and see if we see any obvious signs of the oil leak. The engine has been running for a couple minutes now, and I just want to show you how it looks. Look behind it. Look at the cover where the timing bell goes. Everything looks clean. And that's how you change your valve cover gasket. I crank up the car and I drove a couple hundred miles on that. And it works great, guys. There are no visible leaks of oil anymore. There are no spots. Everything clean. Again, guys, I want to thank all my viewers, all my subscribers. Please subscribe to the channel, leave your comments and like the video or dislike the video. Ask for more videos that you want to see on this car or different cars. I'll see you all next time.